For the last 5 or 6 weeks, the world stopped. Billions of people looked in the same direction, at the same stadiums, the same players, the same trophy. We celebrated goals, argued over decisions, watched highlights, followed narratives, we checked the scores, we refreshed timelines, and wondered whether or not this World Cup was scripted. And for a brief period of time, the World Cup became one of the most alive things on the planet. But now it's over. The trophy's been lifted, the celebrations will eventually stop, the stadiums will empty, and the tournament will be history. And everybody will return back to their lives. But before you do, I want to ask you a question. What did it cost you? Because the World Cup didn't only cost money. It didn't only cost the price of tickets, flights, subscriptions, shirts, or food. It cost something every single person watching had to pay. Something far more valuable. Your attention. And your attention is finite because your time is finite. You see, attention is simply the portion of your time that you give to something or someone. That's why social media platforms measure watch time. Not just views, likes, or comments. Watch time. Because clicking on a video doesn't tell an algorithm very much. You might click and leave immediately. You might like something later and remove the like. You can make a comment and delete it. You can even save a video and unsave it. But the time you give to that video, you can never ever take back. Once you've watched 6 minutes of something, those 6 minutes have permanently left your possession and permanently been earned by that video. You can't unwatch the time, you can't reclaim the time, and you can't spend those same 6 minutes again. And that's why watch time is so valuable, because it's one of the clearest measurements of how much of your non-renewable life you gave to something. You see, time is one of the most fundamental measurements of life. We measure life in years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So when you give something your time, you're not merely giving it your attention, you are giving it a portion of your life. And that's why we use the word spend. We spend time and we pay attention. Because when time is spent, something has left you. Think about what a man might say when he's proposing to his woman. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. That's not just romantic language. That's a person offering the unknown remainder of their non-renewable time to somebody else. They don't know how many years they have left. They don't know what else those years will contain, but they are saying, whatever is left of my life, I want you in every single second of it. That's how valuable time is. And attention is how you direct it. But you see, that's not all. Because when you give your attention to something, you're giving your time to it, and therefore you're giving your life to it. But when you give your life to something, that thing becomes more alive to you. And eventually, it becomes more alive in you. Allow me to explain. When something becomes alive to you, you actually begin to notice it. You understand it more clearly, you recognize it more quickly, you see more of it, you become familiar with it. You learn its language, you begin building a relationship with it. Think about football. The more football you watch, the more football becomes alive to you. You begin recognizing formations, you notice runs that other people miss, you understand why a manager made a particular substitution, you know the players, you know the rivalries, you recognize the references, and you start falling in love with some of the players because you've continually watched them. You can see the game more clearly because you have repeatedly given your life to learning it. It has become alive to you. But eventually, the things you repeatedly consume do not remain outside of you. They become alive in you. You begin quoting them, thinking like them, speaking like them, behaving like them, desiring what they present, repeating their jokes, copying their movements, defending their ideas. You watch enough TikTok videos and Instagram reels, and eventually memes start to become a part of your everyday vocabulary. You listen to enough of a certain type of music, and eventually you begin singing the lyrics without consciously deciding to learn them. You see, you spend enough time around certain people, and eventually their phrases become your phrases. Their reactions become your reactions, and their habits begin appearing in your life. Because whatever receives enough of your life eventually begins expressing itself through you. Give something enough time and you will begin to embody a part of what it is made from. Why do you think people say you are what you eat? Because whatever you repeatedly consume physically becomes a part of your body. But attention is a form of mental consumption. And over the last 5 or 6 weeks, many of us mentally consumed the World Cup. We didn't simply watch matches. We consumed the storylines, the arguments, the celebrations, the controversies, the advertisements, interviews, players' personalities, the opinions surrounding them, the repeated images, the repeated messages, the repeated TikTok conspiracy videos of whether or not the players' lives were scripted and the number 19 was truly something mystical between Messi and Lamine Yamal, whatever. The World Cup became so alive to many of us because we gave portions of our lives to it. And for some people, it also became alive in them. It literally affected their moods, their conversations, their schedules, their spending, their relationships, and sometimes even the way they saw people from other countries. That doesn't automatically mean that watching the World Cup is wrong. That's not my argument. My argument is that nothing receives your time without receiving a portion of your life. And nothing repeatedly receives your life without eventually affecting the way you see, think, feel, behave, or live. And so this brings us to one of the most important principles in this entire video. Whatever you focus on, you feed. You see, your attention is nourishment. It gives things the opportunity to grow in your world. Whatever you repeatedly focus on becomes stronger in your mind, more familiar, more visible, more emotionally significant, more capable of influencing your actions. And that's also what distraction does. A distraction doesn't merely make you look somewhere else. It redirects what you were about to feed and takes that mental energy and that mental attention for itself. You were about to give your life to one thing, and something else fought for your attention so that you would feed it instead. And that is why so many things compete for your attention, because whatever you focus on, you feed. Stop paying attention to a relationship and the relationship weakens. Stop paying attention to your education and your learning slows down. Stop paying attention to a political campaign and its influence begins to disappear. Stop paying attention to a business and its sales disappear. It doesn't matter how good the product is if no human being knows it exists. It doesn't matter how powerful a currency claims to be if everybody collectively decides to stop using it. If everyone stopped spending US dollars tomorrow, the dollar could not force people to continue giving it value. If everybody stopped buying from McDonald's, McDonald's could not sustain itself through the strength of its logo. It needs people. People must notice it, remember it, visit it, buy from it, and continue giving it portions of their lives. And even think about it like this. If you stop paying attention to a television show, the ratings fall. The World Cup is one of the clearest demonstrations of what happens when billions of human beings collectively feed the same thing with their attention. More countries participated than ever, more matches were played, more content was produced, more advertisements were shown, more conversations were created. The World Cup remained alive because human beings continually gave life to it. Players played it, workers organized it, broadcasters distributed it, advertisers funded it, and billions of people, including you and me, watched it. Every part of the machine required human attention. And see, this is where the power flows back into your hands. Because the reason so many systems compete for your attention is not because your attention is worthless, it's because your attention is powerful. Attention isn't only valuable because you need it, attention is valuable because almost everything around you needs it too. Your attention is one of the fuels that keeps institutions, relationships, ideas, and systems alive, which means you have far more power than you may have realized. You help decide what grows, you help decide what weakens, you help decide what becomes more alive in society, and every single day you decide what becomes more alive inside of you. That doesn't mean you control everything that attempts to capture your attention. Notifications will appear, advertisements will interrupt you, people will call you, headlines will provoke you, thumbnails will tempt you. Events will happen, but although you can't control everything that calls for your attention, you can become more intentional about what continues receiving it. You can withdraw from it, you can redirect it, you can decide that something has already received enough of your life, and you can begin feeding something else. Because the time you have already spent cannot be recovered. The only thing you can do is give more future time to what you would rather see become alive in your life. So yes, your attention is finite because your time is finite, and your time is a part of your life. Whatever receives your time receives a portion of your life. Whatever receives enough of your life becomes alive to you. Whatever remains alive to you long enough begins becoming alive in you. And whatever you focus on, you feed. So now that the World Cup is over, look at what you fed. Look at what became more alive to you. Look at what became more alive in you. And then look at the parts of your life that may have gone unfed while your attention was somewhere else. Not so you can condemn yourself, but so you can understand your power. Because the moment you understand how valuable your attention is, you must ask a new question. If almost everything needs my attention in order to remain alive, how are they persuading me to give it to them? And that's what we need to talk about next.